This is a brief follow-up on contracts and goal setting. Due to the data from our learner progress meetings, we're going to specifically focus on work completion for this presentation, as this was an area that showed many of our learners are struggling with. We hope you find the information and resources presented helpful and useful. I want to start off by when and why we implement contracts and goal setting. If a student has a behavior intervention plan, we want to support the increase of positive behaviors and track progress through a behavior contract and goal setting. For students that may have IEP goals, perhaps in behavior, a functional skill IEP goal, or a study skills IEP goal, we want to support the mastery of that IEP goal and track their progress. For a student who may not be making academic progress and/or has behavior challenges, we want to be sure we're implementing contracts and goal setting as an intervention. At Winfrey, we use PBIS World for our behavior interventions, strategies, and resources. Some of you may have explored the PBIS World website during your professional development day earlier this year. I would like to go through a few items briefly. When you first go on to PBIS World, they have a menu of various behaviors, target behaviors that you can look into. For this one, we're going to use failing to turn in work, since that's the part we're focusing on. It gives you a brief description of what the student may be exhibiting for that target behavior. If this is what your student is showing, you would click yes, and it would give you a list of interventions to click on. If I click on, let's say, daily planner, it takes me to this page where it shows the benefits of implementing a daily planner, when I should implement it, and some ideas on how to implement it. It also gives me some links for resources and support. These links might include free printable daily planners. They may include articles or even videos that you can watch. When I look at the top, I see that Tier 1 is highlighted in green. That's telling me that the daily planner is a Tier 1 intervention. I can also go through the website by looking at the different tier interventions. So let's say I want to go and see what Tier 2 interventions are. When I look at this, I see behavior contract as a Tier 2 intervention. So let's go ahead and click on that, since we are working on that today. Has the same layout, and then here's the list of resources and support. One thing I want to mention is when you click on a resource link, for example, if I click on this behavior contract PDF, it doesn't take me directly to the PDF. It takes me to their Google search page. What I have found is generally the first link is the link to take you to that resource. So sure enough, I clicked on it, and here is the student behavior contract. So you could go through that, and if you like it, you can save a copy or print it out for your use. If I keep going through here, there is also 7 steps for creating behavior contracts for children. That is an actual article. Again, it takes me to their search page, and it's generally the first link. I click on it, and here's the article of the steps on implementing and creating a contract. That's something you can read and maybe get some ideas from. And then there's also some videos. This last one listed here is actually a 15-minute video on how to use a behavior contract. I did watch this video, and I found it to be very useful and informative. Here is the link to the direct video right here. It's 15 minutes. And if you have some time, or maybe you can take some time, I highly recommend you looking at it. Although the presenter presents ideas that maybe aren't all applicable to our Winfrey learners, He does share some very useful tips and ideas that I think are important. I highlighted a few here. It was a great reminder for me, even though I've been in education for a long time. So I think for those of us with years of experience, we can really find some good reminders in this video. And for those of us who are new educators, some really great new ideas. One was to avoid being vague in our definition of the desired behavior, to think more along the lines of what does a positive behavior look like? What do we want the student to actually do? To be specific and observable in the behaviors that we are focusing on when using contracts, and also to take time to explain the contract and its purpose to our learners. These are some sample contracts and goal setting sheets. Before I go through them, I want to start by saying that most of these are from our wonderful and amazing Winfrey teachers and staff. You all are the best resource we have because you know the students and you are working with them daily. You are highly valued, and we encourage you to share what you are using so that we can continue to grow our Winfrey resources. We learn best from each other. This first sample is something that I tweaked that I saw in PBIS World. The contract that I saw had some components that I thought were important, and I just put it together. This sample has a very simple goal of completing a specific number of assignments per course each day, or you can put each week, whichever you prefer. And then the component that I really liked was, how does this look and what are the steps to accomplish it? I think this is a great opportunity to have a conversation with your student and really talk about what they need to do to meet this goal. It has an area for rewards and reinforcers if you choose to do this. I know motivation, rewards, and reinforcers was something we discussed at Learner Progress that is difficult for some of our learners. I do think it's worth a conversation with the students, perhaps giving some interest inventories as well. If you need some guiding questions for check-in and check-out times, they're listed right here. And then this would be a front and back document that you would print out unless you want to do a digital copy. This is where you would track how many assignments they completed each day and then a weekly total, as well as a next step follow-up section and then a notes section. I think this tracking part right here is a very good tool to use in setting the next day goal and setting the next week goal and building that intrinsic motivation for the student. On Monday, they completed 8 assignments, and it can be like, okay, tomorrow you think you can complete 10, and maybe at the end of the week they complete, I don't know, 20 or 25 assignments, and you say, okay, next week, you're coming to school every day. How many more assignments do you think you can complete? So this can be a very useful tool when you're doing daily check-in and check-outs with your student. This is just a blank copy of that contract. And again, if it's not exactly what your learner needs, perhaps it's too much, or maybe it's a bit overwhelming, you can make a copy of it, tweak it, adjust it, edit it in any way that best meets your students' needs. This is the same contract. I just wanted to show you that if you want to be able to track an IEP goal, that you can insert that IEP goal at the top. This is an actual goal from one of Winfrey's students. The difference here is that I divided the goal into 2 behaviors because the goal is tracking remaining on task and completing 2 semester completions per grading period. So my first behavior is, how many assignments does a student need to complete each day or maybe each week to reach that 2 semester completions, right? And then what are the steps they need to do to accomplish that? And my second behavior is remaining on task, and maybe with no more than 2 reminders per course or per period. The rest of the contract is the same as before, and along with the data tracking system, next steps, and notes. This is really good for data collection for an IEP goal. So when you do have to input those 6 weeks IEP progress reports, you have the data to back up how the student is doing. Daily task and checklist, very basic and simple. Hey, this is what I have to do for each course I'm taking, and then a place to check it off as I get it done. And then maybe you can have a time at the end of the day or that end of the session where you meet with them. What did you get done? What still needs to get done? And how can I help you for the next day? Or what do you need to do to accomplish the tasks for the next day? This is a very basic one. I think it's something most of us use every day. So I actually think it's a great life skills tool to implement and show your students, since it's something that we as adults use in our daily work life and even daily home life, personal life. This is the check-in, daily check-in digital version. The person who shared this took ideas from several teachers, other teachers. They were using a daily goal setting, digital goal setting, and a daily to-do list along with a daily schedule. So this teacher put several ideas from others together, along with including some of the things she's used in the past that she found helpful. So here is, it would open up with this. Here every day the student's going to do the same thing. Here's their schedule, their AB schedule. And then they would set goals every day for the courses they're taking. At the end of the week, there is an end of week reflection. If you choose to use something like this, you would set up Google Drive folders for each of your students, and then you would make copies each week of this daily goal setting file, and you could perhaps title it week of, and then with the date of the start of that week. I think this actually is a very good idea if you have 3, 4, 5 students that you're doing daily goal setting with. They could each have this up on their device and they can be working on it independently, and you can walk around and have mini conferences with them, guiding them and offering them your support. I think it helps build independence. At the same time, you're still there to give them the support that they need. The last one on here is an academic safe plan that GP uses. It's used when students are not making academic progress. They fill out the courses they're currently taking, and their current progress. Then they set up goals for those courses and the progress that they need to be making. And then they have where they can document the date and the status of how they're doing for follow-ups. And they have 3 follow-up dates. This is a really good idea if you are not doing daily check-ins or goal setting. Maybe you're doing weekly goal setting or bi-weekly goal setting. I did create a new folder from the original I shared with you at our Building Relationships and Goal Setting training earlier this year. This is a link to the new folder. I have not shared it. Once I get those samples dropped in, I will definitely share this with you. I have a few reminders. Please make your own copy of the behavior contracts on your Google Drive. Create a folder on your Google Drive to keep your contracts. That's a suggestion. If you're going to use digital contracts, create student folders on your drive. If you're going to use hard copies, Keep those copies in a binder or folder for each student. I think whether digital or hard copy, these actually are great tools to use throughout the year. Periodically review them with your learners. Show them, look at where we started and look at how far you've come. Look at how much progress you made. You can use them to encourage them, to show them that yes, they can do this, that yes, they can be successful in school. And make them your own. Tweak them, create new ones, edit them, adjust them, do what works best for you and your learners, individualize them. Again, we would love to add to this folder any resources that you are using that you have found to be successful with your students. So please share. If you have any questions or would like to discuss specific situations, feel free to reach out. We greatly appreciate your time and hope you are able to take one or two or even more valuable pieces of information from this presentation. Thank you.